Hey there team, so this is a battle from about 2 days ago now, I think, maybe even just, maybe more recently than that, but I don't know, all the days kind of merge into one right now. I'm playing as the Orcs of the Misty Mountains, and you can see a Mangonel over there. I will give me a moment to deploy. This is a 4v4 on the Dragonspine path, Dragonspine Pass, and the red team here were actually nice enough to give us all a bit of a chance to deploy, because as you can see I'm in an utter mess there, but some of my allies are a fair bit worse. It's a nice map really, but you've got to allow some time for your opponents to climb on down. So I'll go through the enemy team first. Isengard, played by Y2K, up at the front, Dunlending Clansmen. Then over here, some Urukai crossbows, a Trolls of the White Hand, right there, an Isengard Ballista. Along here, an Urukai archer line and another unit of Urukai crossbows. Pretty heavy on the ranged front, but and there are also some Snaga hiding around. Yeah, no, I'm not too sure where, but we'll try and spot them. Urukai infantry here, just lining up along there. Then pikes, Urukai pikes, 3 of them. Then Baneguard, half-orc Baneguard there, and half-orc Baneguard here. Then lastly the Nazhai. Next to him, he has a Dwarves of Khazad-dûm. Thanks, Grandpa. Mercenary crossbows on this side, mercenary crossbows on that side. So yeah, MSQ. Yeah, I think I gave his name already. Orc Hunters of Khazad-dûm up front. Then Dwarven Miners popping up there. Sentries of Khazad-dûm. So he's got Dwarven Miners mixed in with his sentries there just to shield them. I am seeing some Warriors of Khazad-dûm though, mixed in here and there as well. It's a pretty sturdy line, all in all. Next to him, we've got the Dwarves of Erebor by Yuroslav. So the Ironfoot crossbows up front for them, Ironfoot spears. In the back, Obsidian Guard and Highboards of Erebor. Over here, Sons of Durin and Dragon Slayers. You see this a lot with Erebor. People just bring like all of the elites, which I do see it working, to be honest. And this is quite a cool idea. Well, you do see this sometimes, yeah. Ironfoot halberds mixed in with Ironfoot pikes. So very sturdy formation, but yeah, you get a few crossbows on that. You can devour it. Over here, Mr. Sneakman playing Cardlin. We've got the Greenway Garrison spears, mixing up with some Greenway Garrison footmen. Then Menhiriath spears there. Looks like spears all the way along the line. Yeah, it seems to be just a mix between these spears and some footmen, and then also some Greenway Garrison footmen on his left flank. Men at arms here, some men at arms there, and then Greenway Garrison archers in the centre. 2 units of sharpshooters, some Minotaur Roman guardians. Actually, yeah, no, gatekeepers, not guardians anymore, and the Dunedain captains. Lastly, his cav is some Dunedain commanders. I don't use Dunedain commanders too much when I play as Cardlin, but I really should give them a go, because I'd use 2 units of mercenary cavalry, and perhaps it would be better for me to just grab instead a unit of Dunedain commanders. Maybe, and because then they could also, they've got a bit of a charge bonus, I think, as well, so it's not too bad. And then some mercenary crossbowmen. Over on his far side, we have Safi, who seems to have fully deployed now, playing as Mirkwood. So he's got some spears of Emendir up front. Behind that, 2 units of Hiri Peng, then some Hiri Alth, 3 of them there, then Hiri Lang on that side. More Hiri Lang here? Yes, more Hiri Lang on his other flank. Some Elven King Palace Guard, some Wardens of Amon Lank, some Elders there, and then the Eldar Council, you know, off from there. Then his cav is a Sindar of the Girdle, and then a Huntsman of Amon Lank. Next to that is Arthedain, played by Hunter. Actually, he's still shuffling around. So yeah, no, we'll try and just call out what we can anyway. So he's got some dismounted Knights of Inumnus over here. I'm seeing some dismounted Forest Errand Knights, along with some men at arms there. some mounted Forest Errant Knights, some more men at arms, Forest Errant Defenders, some Dunedain Peacekeepers who are now one-handed axemen with shields. I think he might have an armor upgrade on them, but they might just look like that as standard. I'm not too sure. I really have very little experience with Arthedain. Some Dunedain Rangers here, some Arthedain Marksmen, and some more Marksmen. And yeah, Royal Court of House Amlaith there, and I'm seeing a few pikemen as well. Pretty balanced force altogether, some more Dunedain Peacekeepers coming in from that side. Then we have Angmar, played by Grizzly Fox. He's going to be fighting alongside me here. Angmar Marauders, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And then some Snaga Stalkers, it's for a unit on that side. Witch Realm Pikes, 2 units of Witch Realm Pikes moving up into position. Some Blackguard on that flank. Blackwatch Legion, some Guardians there. Some more Guardians, and some more Guardians. And then he's even got some Witchers there, and Goblin Trackers, and Gundabad Guard. I don't really play as Angmar too much, but I do feel very cautious bringing the Witchers to an open field. I think it's always a very dangerous proposition. I think these Mithril Guard were actually left out front. I didn't spot them, but they're running on back now. And now I'm sort of shuffled into position properly now. Yeah, a few things more still to move. I've got 2 units of crossbows and 1 heavy goblin archers. Then here, heavy goblin spears on this flank too. Some heavy goblin spears. Heavy goblin infantry, 3 of them, forming up that line. Some white Uruk fearmongers, black Uruks of the mountain, 2 of them. Actually, yes, 2 of them there. And then mountain Uruk host, Goblin King bodyguard. That's where I've got my general. Blackback mountain berserkers. Some goblin infantry, my free guys, 2 cave trolls, and the Mangonel. So we'll get cracking. Now, the first thing I realised as the battle was being, about to be underway, was I need to move my Mangonel out to over here, get it away from the Isengard Ballista. But I didn't really want to do that during our deployment stage because it felt like cheating. This is where I would have deployed it. I didn't think about it beforehand, so I would have deployed it here, so I was going to leave it there and move as soon as we actually started the battle. And I just felt that was a better thing to do. Save it from just getting easily sniped by the Isengard Ballista. But for the most part, my plan is pretty simple. He does have superior... Well, he's got more archers than I do, but I've got a lot more men that are kind of just disposable that I can... So I can sort of weather a storm and perhaps use my crossbows to target some of his really beefy units. But I was kind of playing it by ear. I was hoping to just get my Mangonel over to this side, where it would be able to strike down some, well, the heavy, more high quality units off the dwarves over on this side. I think we'll probably actually jump up the speed, because although I am finished, Arthedain still has a bit of deploying to do. So we'll jump it up to 2. Yeah, it's a shame about the rain, of course, but, good. No, so that's us getting started. Yeah, so I put my Mangonel. I'm just wanting to get away as fast as I can, because I know that, that ballista has an exceptional range. Something I noticed here was my orcs are hanging back, so I had to give them a few more orders before they decided to move up and join the Mangonel. Probably go back to 1 speed now. 21,000 frames, pretty long for a 4v4, but especially a 4v4 where you're really quite close together. Angmar, he needs to be aggressive here. He's got no barrel wights, which is interesting, but barrel wights slow you down. Even with the recent sort of speed increases, I'm seeing some Scourge Raiders popping up that I didn't spot before. And yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything else popping up, but yeah, going toe to toe with these dwarves, he's got his pikemen up front, which they're just going to get immense by these not even crossbows, but the orc hunters are going to kill quite a few of them. I think it's just a case of the he's just formed his position up there and he's forgotten that the pikemen are going to move a lot faster than the marauders will. When you're in phalanx formation, that always seems to be the case. So I need to move up and kind of guard the flank of my more aggressive ally there. Even though I'm not really willing to go for a rush myself, I still need to watch out for them. crossbow, well, ballistas, wish it was crossbows, ballistas are raining down on me, very frightened about my cave trolls. So I grab my cave trolls, I want to try and sort of concentrate them. He's got his trolls of the white hand here, and even though there's only 9 of them in comparison, that was my discord there, in comparison to 15 of my cave trolls in a unit, his trolls are going to squash mine. So if I'm fighting these trolls of the white hand, I need to be fighting them as overwhelming numbers, which is not really something you can do often with trolls. So we've got this collision here now. He's not managed to get these orc hunters back. Orc hunters are, unless they've been drastically changed, they're not actually terrible in melee, but you really wanted to use their arrows. So getting them on back and either pushing your sentries into them or hopefully allowing the enemy to collide with you. So these dwarven miners will even sort of give them a bit of pause for sure, but the warriors are going to mess up these marauders. So he's sort of relying on his elites for the most part, I'd say. So I wasn't really in a position where I wanted to charge them. As I say, my plan was to weather the storm. So I decided to grab a unit of my heavy goblin spears, mainly to guard this Mangonel, but grab my goblin infantry and even some black orcs and send them up and really just assist in overwhelming this flank. Now, yeah, I'm allowing him to kill far too many of my guys. You're seeing me doing it with a few of my units, but I probably should have just stretched everything out. The fearmongers are my really important guys, so I stretched them out as long as they could go. I could have spread them too, but I just never really see that. Yeah, this was a dumb move of mine. Yeah, don't know, just absolutely slipped my mind. So luckily I just got lucky. He only managed to kill, what, 4 of my cave trolls? That could have been so much worse. And I was kicking myself. I of course spread them and ran them out in 2 different directions. But that was bloody, really, really not something you want to have happen. Crossbows, this was a dumb move again. I was just I guess I was too focused on what was going on over here. I just grabbed my crossbows and I wanted to try and target his Bane Guard, I think. And I just let them move up way too close, really just sort of expose themselves. My Mangonel is opening fire over here, targeting the crossbows. I get a few kills. I think that was me. Yeah, nice. So yeah, oh no, that was not me. That was the Witchers. I'm gonna slow down a little bit because I suspect we're making contact throughout the line. I'm hoping to see those Witchers again, but Black Watch Legions are just taking crossbow fire, which is not good. Yeah, kind of losing all over the front. I don't see any Witchers, but I don't see any Witcher corpses. Yep, I see Witcher corpses. Yeah, so they would have advanced here and just got minced by crossbows, archers, and more crossbows. That's a shame. Yeah, it's just I don't feel you can keep them safe enough in a field battle. Unless you can really keep them hidden or keep them mixed in with a unit, it's too dangerous. Scourge Raiders throwing their little axes, which that'll do something, but these Mithril Guard are incredibly well armoured, and throwing axes losing their AP is just going to do very little to that. Arthurdane Marksman probably could do with being spread out, but yeah, he's mixing it up with oh right, they've really merged their forces together. That's kind of good. Well, good for them. Yeah, so you could do done with a bit of a spread here. Dunedin Rangers for sure, though. Exactly sort of what you want for this position. Even though you're going to be coming in from the front here, you're going to be penetrating right through, so you'll kill quite a lot of Garrison footmen. And with these archers there too, yeah, this is yeah, no, the shields will take a lot of damage here. If they weren't there, then this would be horrific. But they don't really have any range units to respond to this punishment. Garrison archers, they're not going to do much damage, and sharpshooters, they've got to run on forward in order to do anything. So it's quite good for them over there. Yeah, the Angmar forces, the Black Watch Legion will do quite well, but the big maces. So I suspect I don't have too much experience with Angmar, but I suspect they're AP. So that is exactly what you want there. But I've got my gobbles just continuing to flood around. This is maybe I could have detached, come around a bit more, coming from their backs, but all in all, it's going okay. I decided instead to actually, because we've made contact over here, this Urukai pipeline has connected, crushing my left flank, but my right flank is really holding out quite well. I threw my cave trolls in there, and I've still got one of my cave trolls in reserve, waiting to respond to his trolls. Pull the crossbows back, they're very important to me. But yeah, as I say, I'm kind of just letting the left flank falter in order to really blitz the right flank. Wonder who that was actually. So these Baneguard managed to catch my Black Uryx. These were the guys I had over on this right flank. I was hoping to bring them in to slam down there, but no, they caught them. So getting the Mountain Uruk hosts to just hopefully finish off this fight as quickly as I can, because they're getting devoured by some archer fire right now. Trolls about to make their move, but along with some Baneguard. So again, these heavy goblin spears, who I adore. I really do like heavy goblin spears. Are like managing to hold out there, but the trolls do slip on by. So I'm responding with my trolls, hoping to hold them in position while my crossbows get off a volley. My other crossbows on this flank, I had to pull them back, but I pulled them back way too far actually. Yeah, that's silly. They're not using up any ammo. They should be up here. Dunlending Clansmen coming in to sort of help tip this in their favour, but that's not really going to do too much to the Black Uryx. Angmar over here, standing but getting a little bit beaten in. So we've got 33 losses for 29 of theirs. My goblins are starting to really pull through here a bit. What am I targeting with my Mangonel? I think I was going for generally this position here. I knew it was dicey with how close everything was, but I just thought this was my best chance to rack up a few kills and also possibly get them routed. Actually, no, I've changed my focus. Onto the Mithril Guard, that's why. I was very frightened about the Mithril Guard. I knew that we could maybe stand a chance at killing off these warriors, but heavy goblin spears who were guarding the Mangonel's now almost run out of ammunition, so I felt just get them off, try to reinforce this position, hold them back for a little bit longer. I did try to chase off the mercenary crossbows, but that just wasn't happening. Arthedain still taking a few losses to the Rangers, but as long as they get all their ammunition out, it's not too bad. Oh, very nice. Yeah, so some good damaging shots there. Very close range as well. But just about everything here looks like it's running out of ammo, if it's not already. Yeah, you see, with this sort of situation, it's I guess no, because if he did advance that forward, he could just use his crossbows, but it is very tempting to just grab that and really just get kind of point blank with your arrows, just so that nothing is missing. Crossbows are now opening up on these advancing elves. Harry Peng moving forward, decent in melee, but not as good as everything else he's got, so he's happy enough to have them be his fodder. Harry Lang should they're getting very badly targeted, but they should really rip through these spearmen. Spearmen are pulling back in exchange for the men at arms, who will do a slightly better job. Actually, outnumbering that much, I think they'll do okay, so they're not a bad unit by any stretch. The Pikes of Arthedain moving on forward. Crossbows still just pecking off these Forest Errant Knights. As I've said before, I do like it when these 4v4s start to mix in with each other, and you're not getting individual fights. You really are getting a big brawl. Don't have many goblins left over here, but we're still providing mass. We're still hopefully taking hits for these Black Birch. Just providing a few more numbers. Left flank, as he sort of has actually been won for me. I grabbed my Goblin King bodyguard and sort of tried to battle it over here. Actually, well, so he won, pushed around, and but by the time he had pushed around, the center had broken, and also the right has broken too. Still a lot of these trolls, but I've gotten my crossbows back and really just trying to pick away at them. I was worried about my Goblin King out here on his own, facing off against some Naz High, but we've got some wired fearmongers, which you can tell. Again, I've forgotten to put them back into phalanx formation, haven't I? So that's a great move. Really top tier gamer moment from there. But no, so that's they're still gonna do something, but that was really dumb on my part. The Naz High actually having a bit more difficulty than I would have expected, but the Goblin King Bodyguard are not a poor quality unit. Trolls of the White Hand, just cutting through a few of my guys here as I'm trying to push up, catch their archers. Because although I've won the infantry engagement, he still has a lot of archers, he still has a lot of crossbows. Ballista is of course out of ammunition. Getting these trolls, just trying to chase down crossbows, kill them off. And that's really that. So he doesn't have too much left over here, but what he has left are crossbows, and he can just kite me all he likes. Over here against the dwarves, these Mithril Guard are still holding strong, and they will hold very strong up against Goblin Trackers. My Goblin Infantry have finally started to break, well, have finally broken. Down to 13 though. I think they probably broke when they had about, say, 30 left, but yeah. See, so my Mangonel there, my Mangonel still had some rotten meat left in it, but I just didn't really feel that rotten meat would be overly effective. I know you can get a kill if you land a perfect shot, but I thought they would do better if I was to just grab them and have them beat numbers to assist my spears. Yeah, the reason is, as well, throwing rotten meat is going to hurt me just as much as it hurts them. And with my men's lower morale as a whole, it's going to hurt me in the long run. Or probably in the short run, as my men would rout quite quickly. Dundane Peacekeepers. Yeah, so the fighting is really sort of underway here now. But these pikes, the halberd pike line is just not going to be broken by these skilled and well armoured Arthedain forces, but they just lack the not the length, lack the range, I guess, to stab away at these dwarves. Dundee Captain's held reserve. Yeah, he's just saved this ammunition for the right moment. I do love Cardlin, and I play them a lot, and I think I'm quite good with Cardlin, but I do have a bad habit of just spending my ammunition as soon as I can on the first target I can see. Ooh, that was a full volley from the Eldar Council. They are taking terrible fire now, though. So I didn't see what they hit. Was it just over the top into back to these spears? But yeah, because the Eldar Council are not bad in melee too, so you don't want them to be minced. Elven Palace Guard getting beaten just by overwhelming numbers of these well, fodder mixed in with a few men at arms. Oh, that was unfortunate. Some cav engagement there. An anti-cav unit versus well, spear cav versus spear cav really over here. So that was nobody really won that engagement by the looks of things. Yeah, it's so many crossbows on the enemy side. And yep, this position has finally been broken. And Angmar is almost gone really. I don't think they've got anything more on the field. So we'll look over and you can see just sort of the damage that I'm suffering from this kiting. There's really nothing else for it. I've got to just pursue them. I don't have any cav. This is really where I should have typed to one of my allies. Arthedain still had some cavalry left. I could have just called for his help in doing this, because he would have been able to do this suffering half the losses I did. Far less than half the losses I did. And I think his cav could be more beneficial over here, and just sounds really cheeky to say it, but like saving my men rather than trying to sort of break through and get around a very sturdy defensive line that they're facing off against here. You see where they've got pikes in position, they're holding out nicely. Like these Arthedain pikes are really kick the ass of the garrison foot, for sure. Actually, no, I don't think, yeah, there are no footmen in this position, it's all just the garrison spears. So, they will do very well, especially backed up with the Eerie Land. The issue though is these Dwarven Phalanx units are starting to get freed up. Now these Forest Iron Defenders and everything are routing. Arthurian Marksmen still with a bit of ammunition. Dismounted Knights of Illuminus here, kind of out in the open. These crossbows get a sight on you, you're really going to be in trouble. The Royal Court of House Amlath, they do look very nice, don't they? Yeah. Having to play this on medium graphics, usually 4v4s, I just can't really get them to run on max graphics, which is too bad because I really would like to run them on it. So we got these. Oh, that was the final Angmar. Well, if that was the Angmar General, I don't know if he was the final Angmar unit or not. Where did that happen? Ah, no, there's still some Blackwatch. So the dwarves are gathering their men up here in order to go and help take on what's left of Arthedain and Mirkwood. Because while there are still crossbows and archers roaming around, I can't threaten anybody. I can't begin to move off. I have to deal with that. You know, they can just they can collide with me at any time they like. Now, it definitely could have been a lot more efficient in chasing these enemies down. Like you're seeing a lot of times where I've obviously just forgotten units. You know, they've charged, they've caught them, and they've run away, and I've not looked again. Yeah, that was this force here. But now they're going to be able to turn around and get a good volley on my Goblin King. Because there's still 40 of them left, but I don't end with 40 of them after all this. Fearmonger is here, just mopping up what's left of the Naz High alongside these Black Orcs of the mountain. Oh, some charge. Yeah, so the Royal Court are just really picking off what they can with charges. To be honest, a good there's a lot of sentries hanging around, but you know, they're not this hasn't really been a formed up formation, it's more just popping the men where they can be, so there's definitely some work to be done there. But I think he's wanting to try and keep his well, what we actually asked Hunter was to try and keep his men alive and come round, because the best opportunity is if we all fight together. So if he can grab his stuff and come to me, and Mirkwood still actually has some of their knights left, or not knights, but their general's bodyguard cavalry, then that could have been quite good. But no, I think he is just seeing some opportunities and he's going for them, which I definitely don't blame him. As I say, when everybody's sort of running around like this, it's very tempting to just get a quick charge into those warriors or into these warriors here and just mince them. Because there are not many of Khazad-dûm left. The Mithril Guard are a fear. The Blackwatch Legion have not let them get away. And a mace to the back will definitely hurt even a Mithril Guard. And is there any more fighting over here with Mirkwood? I don't see it. No, I think everything's sort of some wardens. Of course, the wardens will do quite well, but getting jabbed away by pikes, they won't last too long. So I'm probably going to jump up the speed. As you can sort of see, it's not this fight is going to go a certain way. Oh jeepers, there's so long to go actually. Yeah, so I'll find a nice place to perch myself. Yep, some cav. Actually, quite a lot of cav. Yeah, I should have asked for this help so much earlier. It was a bit silly of me to try and chase around the enemy archers when my allies had so much cav left that they could have just brought in and and helped me out. But it's something you do have to stay in communication, especially in a 4v4. You're like, I've got a bad habit of trying to be a bit more tunnel visioned and win the battle right in front of me. So everybody does that, and if you need help, you have to ask for it. You know, there are many times in 3v3s and 4v4s where somebody gets just crushed on one side of the battlefield, and they, they're complaining and asking like, why, where were you guys? You left me to do X, Y, Z all by myself, and you can't expect your allies to know exactly what you're going to do and exactly what's happening to you at all times. So it's fair enough, I feel, to require a little bit of information now and again from your allies. So I'm just assembling my men now, as after all of the archers and such are left. Well, the archers and crossbows are gone. I really do like this sort of battle line. So many of my goblins are dead, but no, it's good. Like, this is one of the main. No, they do this in most Total War games, of course. I remember Napoleon's quite a favorite of mine for it, just seeing all the corpses. But for some reason, there's something special about the medieval battle lines, just seeing all the bodies lined up, the intensity of the fighting because of how little of the ground you can actually see. Dundee commanders there, sort of exactly what the enemy needs to try and tie up some of our cavalry that still remain on the field. Mercenary crossbows firing something, probably a routing unit. They've just been set on fire at will. But that is everything that they've got to deal with, so they're now just assembling everything they've got to come at us. My viewpoint for the best position is here. Now, the reason I thought they would be the best is because I envisioned the enemy coming at me just from straight down the main valley, the main line, and I just totally just didn't think that, oh no, they'll just stick to this side. Why wouldn't they? So, but yeah, so that's why I'm coming down to this position right now, because I think that that's the best place to be. Huntsmen still a few, 6 of them left. You've got to be careful when there's stakes just on the ground anywhere, especially long after a battle's been done in an area. You think, oh, it's safe, there's no enemies around, and you just run right through, and especially if there's a mob of bodies right underneath a line of stakes, and you just can't see it. I'm just terrible with stakes. I never deploy them. Yeah, they're too dangerous for me. Royal Court seeing an opportunity here. No, they're fast enough to get away though. Yeah, would probably be better just to keep them back, because these mercenary crossbows, I can outrange them. I can shoot them with my crossbows, who still have some ammunition, because as I said, I had them too far back from the fighting. So yeah, I'm lining up just along the top of this little slope, and then the dwarves are forming up on the same level as I am. So this was where, perhaps not just yet. No, not yet. Safi just said that it's probably better for us to go on the aggressive here, which I felt that we were unfortunately never going to be winning this little confrontation. But I still felt that, or we felt, that the best option was for us to go on the aggressive and try to engage the dwarves when they're by themselves. That should net us the most kills if we rattle into them before everybody gets together. Even though I do see how tasty it would be to get a good crossbow volley into these 23 wardens. We just have to take the targets we've got. Orc hunters here still actually have ammo. Actually, no, they don't. No, must have been. It's a very small unit of orc hunters that have ammo. So, I've got my out of ammunition heavy goblin archers up front. My crossbows exhausted, just getting them into position. He's charging the miners forward, who I rush to meet with my heavy goblin archers. They're wavering, so a good charge might scare him off. Yeah, jeepers. Really messed them up there, actually. Sorry to be proud of messing somebody up when they've only got 5 and you charge them with 23, but still, I was happy. So, Safi's Cav, just looking for an opportunity. I don't know, I think Arthurian still has some Cav, yes, here. So they need to work together, they need to sort of see opportunities for each other. I didn't actually pay much attention to what they were doing. I was having to really just micromanage my few units as much as possible, try and maximize them. crossbows are the things that are going to do the most damage for me here, so I need to try and get them out of the fight. I see the wardens. Let's start rattling into them. They're quite high value targets. Orc hunters. All of my infantry was just too far back. So I probably should have just had them up forward a bit sooner. Because I do have these berserkers, and you can see that was down to 15 now. They were at 40 when I started chasing around all those crossbows. I let them get around me there. That was just unfortunate, but hey, we get them broken. Get a few more kills there. I know my berserkers can take on some stuff face to face. Oh, that's a good charge. Yeah, even with them coming at you. Yeah, that's very nice. So my berserkers, there's Dunedain captains mixing up in there. We're not fighting the Dunedain captains right now, but they'll make their way to the front. It's even a crossbow volley. The Arthedain general finally falls. And that's those are the Dunedain commanders in there too now. Ah, that's the Cardinal general though, right after him. We still, yeah, that's the last of the royal court there. We still do have the Sindar. And 3 huntsmen. But yeah, my berserkers trying their best. They're still doing alright. But the Mithril Guard, we really just have nothing to go toe to toe with Mithril Guard. The Fearmongers are trying. Ironborn Axemen managed to break. Crossbows. Oh, generals really want some Axemen blood. Perhaps I shouldn't have had my crossbows spread out. In the same way, they're sort of a bit more faster to move around if they're tight together. See, if I was to give this order again. Ah. Yes, okay, I see why I'm doing that. Yeah, just right into the backs of the sharpshooters. As I say, at this point it's just being a better loser. I just want to kill as many of them as I can. It's not about winning anymore, it's not been about winning for about 10,000 frames. Yeah, I was quite impressed with how we did. You know, like there were a good few charges there from the boys, and you know, the crossbows, my fear-causing units up the front. You know, we really managed to break a few, and you know, yeah, that's lovely. Ah, oh, dang, did manage to drop the general there, but that was a good charge. Yeah, oh, those Mithril Guards just take such a beating. And I think once those crossbows go, they're gonna fight to the very end. These berserkers, totally outnumbered, surrounded, and they're not gonna last too much longer, but they should die there. Yeah, everything's out of formation, just pushing forward, trying to rack up the last kills. The last real fighting force there. My general's gone now. Last real fighting force is of course the Sindar. Right into the Blacklock Engineers, but they can take, well, again, I think they're 2 wins. Pretty confident they're 2 wins. Yeah, that's as I say, I'm certainly not very good when it comes to balancing issues and such, but maybe the Blacklocks don't need 2 wins. but yeah, I don't play. I really only play humans, so I couldn't say. Had not got too much experience using the Blacklocks. 2 units left from the Sindar. And they'll get grabbed by the Dunedain. And that should be that from them. Ah, they managed to take one more. The Heat was charging, so yeah, they'll do some damage. And 98. I don't know where they're still men fighting. We'll jump it up. Yeah, there we go. So I was pretty chuffed overall. Like the Goblins King Bodyguard, they were thrown into the thick of the fighting. They were going up against Uruk-hai, they were going up against Naz-hai for a while, so no, they did what they needed to do. A lot of those kills were of course just gutting archers and crossbowmen that were trying to escape them though, so they can't be, it's not too great. Berserkers though, they did good. They always do good. Berserkers are always gonna never really let you down. The Fearmongers, had I just had them in the proper formation, I didn't realize until after until the battle was over. The only reason they were out of the formation was so that they could, because I decided to try and maybe spread them out, and then I decided against it, and then yeah, it was me being dumb for the most part. Then Goblin Infantry, you know, like I think, to be honest, you're better off taking the Goblin Host over the Goblin Infantry nowadays. But I was kind of chuffed with that. Like they were fighting Urukai, as I say again. Like heavy Gobo should get minced by an Urukai, and I think they did okay. Goblin Infantry, those are 30 dwarves they killed. I'm sure, yeah, a lot of them will be dwarf miners, but like still dwarves. You know, I like that, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. Probably I should have held back, let Angmar engage, and then totally come round for a real rear charge, or a rear attack at least, if not a charge, rather than just slamming into their flank. 2 Black Orcs of the mountains. I was surprised to see the Bane Guard were beating my Black Orcs. I guess the Archer Fire was having a big effect on that fight, but still, it was the Bane Guard surprised me. Then Heavy Goblin Spears. One of them, I think that was the one on the right. Yeah, that I sent him off to go and support the Mangonel, and they had to be honest, they didn't have to. Probably should have just moved them back to the rest of my men, but I had them try to hold the right flank of that battle for a bit longer, and that's just why they didn't rack up many kills. On the left, those guys, they held really nicely, and actually, oh, maybe we need to flip those around, actually, because I couldn't say. But all in all, they're never going to let you down. You use heavy goblin spears right, they're always going to do good. Crossbows and crossbows, yeah, they had so much ammunition left. That's a shame. They could have done so much more for me. And the archers actually did good for so much better than archers have ever really done for me before. So I'm happy with that. Well, like heavy goblin archers anyway. And the cave trolls, yeah, the cave trolls were fighting some pretty messy foes on the left. Like they were battling out with other trolls, and then the Naz High, and then you know, so yeah, of course I'm okay with that. But the guys on the right racked up a good mob of kills there, so that's good. The Mangonel. Now this is where I had a quick chat with Lister in one of my comments, just about using the Mangonel and what I had achieved with it in a recent battle. And I do think, yeah, it's a terror causing weapon. It does a lot of kills to probably guys like me that use very tight formations, but in those sort of very long, drawn out formations, where it's more of a battle line than it's a battle formation, I can see them being less effective, and I can definitely see them being more effective against lower morale forces rather than Khazad-dûm, who is pretty exceptional with their morale. So my adventures with Mangonel are most certainly not over. I will be using it a lot more. It's a lot more, I guess, in relation to how much I use artillery as a whole. I don't use artillery very often, but I think the Mangonel's fun. All in all, yeah. We had Hunter was a pretty new guy. He said that like right at the start, and we should have mentioned to him right away. This was a failing on us. He did say he was a newer guy, like, you know, I'm just gonna try my best, and we were like, yeah, dude, that's no problem. It's all we can expect from you. But he was Angmar, and his enemy was going to be Yaroslav as Erebor, and we really should have mentioned to him that like Arthedain's whole thing is that they lack armor piercing, and you're going up against a dwarf, so that's on us, definitely. But apart from that, yeah, really fun fight. I'll be using Dragonspine paths again. Just got to make sure that everybody holds back. But yeah, right. Thank you very much.